In the tranquil village of Sprunki, life bloomed under the warm embrace of Mr. Sun. His rays nurtured the land, the people, and all living creatures, ensuring harmony in the bustling village. Among the inhabitants were Mroona and Wyrum, a couple deeply in love. Mroona's laughter rang like soft chimes, and Wyrum's comforting presence was the foundation of her world. Together, they thrived in Sprunki's sunlight. But centuries of casting his light from above had left Mr. Sun lonely and wistful. He watched the village from his eternal place in the sky, longing for companionship. Despite the joy he brought to others, his existence felt hollow, his yearning unspoken, until the day Iciella arrived. Iciella was a being of frost, her beauty as sharp and ethereal as ice crystals glistening in the moonlight. Her steps froze the grass beneath her feet, her voice carried the chill of winter winds, and her gaze could turn even the warmest hearts cold. The villagers were in awe, but it was Mr. Sun who was truly captivated. From his celestial perch, Mr. Sun could not take his eyes off her. Her icy elegance was unlike anything he had ever known, and his heart burned with a desire he could no longer suppress. Driven by passion, he made a forbidden choice. He descended to the earth to be closer to Iciella. At first, the villagers were delighted by the rare sight of Mr. Sun in human form. He glowed with golden warmth, his presence radiant and commanding, but it wasn't long before his proximity began to wreak havoc. The intense heat emanating from him scorched the ground, drying up rivers, withering crops, and turning the once thriving village into a barren wasteland. Worse still, Iciella, whose frosty form was not made to endure such heat, began to melt. "Mr. Sun, you cannot stay here," Mroona pleaded, watching in horror as their home began to crumble. "Your place is in the sky. Without you, the balance is destroyed." But Mr. Sun refused to leave. His longing for Iciella consumed him, and he was blind to the devastation he caused. "I've spent centuries shining for this village," he argued. "I deserve to live, to love, just like everyone else." Wyrum tried to reason with him, but it was no use. The situation grew dire, and Mroona realized that drastic action was needed. Her heart ached at the thought of what she was about to do, but she knew it was the only way to save both the village and Mr. Sun. One such evening, as Mr. Sun stood beside the weakening Iciella, Mroona approached him. "If you wish to stay," she said softly, "then you must change." Before he could ask what she meant, Mroona opened her arms and swallowed him whole. Her body became a vessel containing his fiery essence. The process was excruciating. Her form shifted and warped as she struggled to withstand his power. But Mroona's resolve never faltered. She poured all her strength into transforming him, reshaping his celestial being into that of a mortal man. When it was done, Mr. Sun emerged from her embrace with a new body, one of flesh and blood, free from the overwhelming heat that had once defined him. He could now walk the earth without destroying it and remain by Iciella's side. But the transformation came at a cost. Mroona, drained of her vitality, was left weak and fragile. As she lay on the ground, she looked up at Mr. Sun and whispered, "Live your life and love her well. This is my gift to you." With those words, she closed her eyes and passed into eternity. Mr. Sun, now a mortal man, wept for Mroona's sacrifice. He and Iciella buried her beneath the tallest tree in the village, which miraculously began to bloom despite the scorched earth around it. Though the village remained colder without Mr. Sun in the sky, the people adapted, their hearts warmed by the memory of Mroona's selfless act. Only Wyrum could not move on. The loss of Mroona left an unfillable void in his heart. He wandered the village in silence, his once bright eyes now dull with sorrow. The chill in the air mirrored the icy grief within him, a pain that not even the passage of time could heal. As for Mr. Sun and Iciella, they lived quietly, cherishing the second chance Mroona had given them. Though their love was bittersweet, they honoured her memory by tending to the tree that grew above her grave, a living testament to her sacrifice. The tale of Mroona's love and selflessness became a legend in Sprunki, a reminder of the lengths one could go to preserve happiness for others. But for Wyrum, it was not a legend. It was a wound that would never heal.